operating expenses, all right? This is where a lot of people miss the boat. So don't miss the boat if you're looking at properties on this. And again, whether it's a house or it's a 100-unit, to the finite detail, you want to understand this. Believe me, I know I've missed finite details before, and they always pop up at the wrong time. That's just what they do. Finite details always pop at the wrong time. So try to evaluate as much as you can going in before. You never know what's going to happen in life. None of us have a crystal ball, but you can always look back in the past to see what did happen, and then therefore you can have a reasonable expectation of what's going to happen. Here are your typical operating expenses. Property taxes. Two things to remember. This is the specific property taxes, and then also in Oakland, you're going to have something called business tax. So just understand when you go into the property, you got two types of taxes. Then you got insurance, property insurance, and sometimes it's recommended to have general liability insurance. General liability insurance helps you out with lawsuits. So does property insurance, but just an added layer of insurance. It's something you can get $1 million general liability a lot of times for $500. A good thing to have. Management. Two things to remember: on-site and off-site management. If you have a building that's 16 units and above in the state of California, you must by law have an on-site property manager. Why is that? Anybody give me some feedback. Why would you want to? Why is it a law that you have to have a property manager on-site, 16 units and above?
It's something happening every day.
Fire, shooting, it's, whatever. There's got to be a responsible party who's living at 3 in the morning when the fire breaks out to be responsible, to take control, call the fire department, whatever. Don't get caught without a on-site property manager. It can be very, if you're trying to save some bucks, you think you're trying to save some bucks, something happens, you could be in big time trouble. You have to have one. Therefore, you have to pay for them, right? They're also not free. So you have on-site and off-site property management. A firm is going to charge you for both. So you hire XYZ property management firm to manage your property. It's 16 doors and above. They're going to charge you for the cost of the on-site, which is going to vary, and then they're going to charge you their fee. And their fee is going to range anywhere from 5% to 10% of the gross rents they actually collect, depending on a bunch of things, how big the property is, neighborhood, so on and so forth. So just account for it. That's all I'm saying. It's not good or bad. It just understand that it's there and you need to budget for it. Maintenance. This is preventative and then emergency. There's always emergencies. Last month I have a fourplex and the guy's heater went out. So it went out and we had that big storm, and we're in this big storm. It's cold and he hasn't got any heat. So he called me up and we figured it out. It's emergency stuff. That's a fourplex. I self-manage that. A lot of times people are discouraged about real estate because they don't want to be fixing toilets or responding to calls. So then just hire somebody. If you hire somebody, you just got to pay them. So understand that, all right? Utilities, gas, electric, water. What do we got in California right now? What does that mean for water prices? All right.
You still got a drought?
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought you had enough rain in December, that's all.
Well, we had a bunch of rain. I turned my sprinklers off. As soon as I turned my sprinklers off, it stopped raining. So all my grass is dead now. So, but that's all right. And then something else is sewer. It's a part of your water bill. So in Oakland is at least. Different areas might be billed separately. Repairs. This is your make-ready work. This is your, somebody calls you out. You got to fix a toilet. This is repairs. There's another line item. I won't get into it right now, but it's called capital expenditure. This is when you're making improvements to the property. That's not an operating expense. That's an improvement to the property. It's not on this line item, and I'll explain to you why that's important. Because that would take away from the net operating income. It would take away from the value. So if you install a water heater, that's not a repair, that's a capital improvement. Okay, if you put a bunch of windows into the property, new windows, it's not a repair, even though if somebody broke a window, it kind of is a repair, but actually that's a capital improvement. You're improving the quality of the building. One more thing to look at before we move on. Reserves, budget form, right? Stuff happens. So just put a certain amount of money away each month if you can, if you're able to, right? If you're not able to, do what you can do. But when you're evaluating a property, you want to put that in your numbers so that you're prepared for it, all right?